Hi, this is Joe with Prep Agent. Today I'm here with my friend Chris. How's it going, Chris?
Good.
So it's my understanding you passed your exam, correct?
Yes, I did.
So people are probably wondering if she passed her exam, then why am I talking to her? Well, here's the question that everybody comes up with.
Now what?
Right. So a lot of people pass the exam, they're like, thanks, Joe, I passed, that's great, but what do I do now? Because we get so caught up in passing that sometimes we forget passing the real estate exam was really not our goal. Our goal is to have a successful career, correct?
Right.
So here we are, you passed your exam, and we're going to help you figure out what to do next. Now, a lot of people will give these answers, give these motivational speeches, and you have people give you exactly what they think you should do. To me, that's the ultimate form of narcissism and just a huge ego. Because how is somebody supposed to know what's best for you? It's kind of like those annoying Facebook posts when people like preach on Facebook. You ever read those?
Yes.
They're like the best way to live is be happy, motivated, and blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, just shut up. You just can't stand those. I wish there was like a dislike button. I just find it so obnoxious. So for me, what I want to do with you is help you figure out what's best for you based on what you know and your goals or objectives. It'd be much easier if I just gave you an answer, but in the end, I think we both know that's not truly what's going to help you be successful.
Correct.
So let's start here. So now we have now what? So now you passed. What's your goals? Are you trying to be part-time, full-time? We want this to make big money, little money. Obviously, we all want to make big money. Silly question. But you get what I'm getting at. So what's your goal moving forward?
My goal is to be a full-time agent, develop great relationships with all kinds of clients, and list and sell all kinds of homes.
Okay. So right there with this, you're saying I want to develop great relationships with everybody and do everything is kind of what you just said, correct?
Yeah.
So for me, what I'd like you to do first is narrow that down
Okay.
because I especially think when you start, you need to kind of focus your attention. So what's the thing you said? I want to develop great relationships with everybody and do everything. Okay. So first off, where
Mhm.
is your core base for people where you could create these great relationships?
So I'm going to use my personal network.
Okay. And by the way, for people listening, if you
Um,
don't have any, that's fine. I'm just saying you got to know where you're starting at. You got to lay out the groundwork. Like, where is this all beginning? Okay, so you got your personal network.
yeah. Like I'm honestly going to go once I pick the right brokerage because you can't market yourself and create business cards and things like that until you have your broker. You
Okay,
can't even, in my state, you can't even get your license until you have a broker.
that
So,
yeah, and what you're saying is true for all states. Because your real estate license, just for everybody listening, isn't really a license until it's under a broker. Because as we learned when you're studying for the exam, this isn't just practice. When you're studying, the broker is the one who's ultimately responsible. So what you're saying is
right.
absolutely correct. Okay, let's go back to this. You're going to use your personal network, and the types of properties you're going to sell will probably be dictated by that personal network. But I do like it when people try and focus on maybe condos or houses. A lot of agents just try and go after anything and everything. There's so much to learn and so much knowledge to be had. Sometimes I feel like it's really good to hone in on one specific type of property or specific type of person and let your knowledge base and your business grow from there.
Yeah. I know it is hard because I want to do everything. I want to do, you know, try a little bit of commercial, try residential, but
Have you ever heard the term
I
jack
think I
of
need
all and
to,
expert of none?
yeah,
And for those who don't know what that means if you know a little bit about everything, you really don't know anything that well. So that's why I kind of want you to hone in because when you get a client and they're going to say, I want to buy a condo, you're going to say, oh, I know a little bit about that. But I know a little about a lot of other stuff too. But for that person, he's like, I want you to know about this condo. I could care less about the commercial thing or about a industrial one or about a foreclosure. I just want to buy this condo, right? And by you only knowing a little about that, it's not so much. You've seen a lot of real estate agents advertise, right? You've seen them on bench ads, internet, business cards, all over the place, correct?
mhm,
And very often you'll hear them say specialist. Okay, they'll market themselves that way. Foreclosure specialist, condo specialist, whatever it is, commercial specialist in this area. Like they really hone in on they're the expert in that area.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see what I'm getting at. A lot of successful agents get away from this idea of I'm going to do everything, and they really just hone in on something. And you don't know it yet because you're just starting, but I really want you to look for that. And that may be dictated by the brokerage you choose. So let's talk about that for a second because you brought that up very quickly, and you were talking about that before we got on this call. So when I said to you, what's going on now, before we got on this call, what were you telling me is happening to you now?
I am talking to, excuse me, all kinds of brokerages. I'm getting letters and phone calls and emails from all different kinds, and I'm reaching out to some on my own as well to try to find the right fit.
Right. So how can I say this nicely? Because we're best friends and I want you to feel good about everything. But a lot of people, when they get all these solicitation brokerages, they feel like, oh, look how great I am. Everybody wants me. I'm amazing. Clearly, they all want to hire me. Okay. And it feels good. It feels good. I don't want to take down that good feeling. But what's the reality of that situation?
Well, I know the motive there. And
Okay,
it's
so
kind
yeah,
of like
motives.
I'm interviewing them.
Yes, perfect. And I love that you took it that way because that was my intention with that comment. Is you're interviewing
Yeah.
them. These people have to understand you're a commission salesperson. Now, it's not to say that brokerage doesn't have any risk by bringing you on. I mean, if you're a bad person, they don't want you there. But at the end of the day, for the most part, they're not paying you anything. For the most part, whatever you do is a plus for them because it's just
Right.
commission. So that's why a lot of the brokerages follow with this model of hire as many people as we can find, and whatever sticks, sticks. If it doesn't, no skin off our back. So you're actually interviewing them, as you said. Okay? And everybody has to have that mentality because you could find a broker to work for. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so now you're looking at these brokerages and you're getting approached by many. What are some things that they're telling you?
One of the last things that they want to tell you is the commission split.
Okay.
So I will say that.
Okay. So
Um,
let's start with this. Okay. So you have a few in mind. We don't have to name their names unless you want to. Totally up to you. But for now, we could call them A, B, and C if you want. Okay.
yeah.
Spoken to a few already?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go with A. What's A telling you? Brokerage A.
Okay. Brokerage A is telling me that there are no monthly fees.
So brokerage A is saying no monthly fees. Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's move on. So you got brokerage A, no monthly fees. Are they saying anything else?
They're saying that they're going to provide me with all kinds of marketing, a website. They're going to create my business cards.
Okay.
And I don't have to pay for like using the printer and the postage machine and stuff like that.
All right. All good stuff. Anything else they're telling you? And a lot of this is good stuff, which we'll go over in a second.
Lots of continuing education courses.
Ooh, love that. That's great stuff right there. When you say continuing
Yeah.
education, you're not talking about the official requirements. You're talking about them helping you to educate yourself to be an agent.
Right.
Okay. So just so we're clear, continuing education courses very typically means the courses you need to maintain your license. What you're referring to is education of how to conduct business, how to get sales, how to improve yourself as a real estate agent. Okay, which is good
Yes.
stuff. Okay, are they telling you anything else?
In office loan officers.
Okay. Anything else?
That's really it.
Okay, so let's go to
Then.
B. What's B giving you?
So B has a pretty high monthly fee, but in contrast,
Yeah.
the commission split is way better with B. Same thing, providing website, business cards,
Okay.
and it's a very busy office.
Okay. Is that it for B, or is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Is there a C involved in this scenario?
Not yet, but actually Monday I'm meeting with two other ones.
Okay. Well, let's go over these two right now, and this will help you as you go forward meeting with the two other ones. Okay. So the first thing I asked you was
Okay.
about your goals. Let's keep this in mind. Okay. You say you want to develop great relationships and you want to do everybody for everything. So basically, it sounds like you really don't, and honestly, take this for what it is. You don't have your goals nailed down yet, other than you want to make money and you're ambitious and you're like, I want to go, go, go. I want to make this work. And what I want you to work on as after we leave this call is focusing down those goals a little bit. So that's the first thing, a little bit of homework for you. You think you could do that for me?
Yes. I actually have a goal in mind,
Okay.
but it seems like pretty hard to do that. I would ideally like to get into like more luxurious homes and high end homes.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's a good goal. So as we get into that goal, if you want to get into high end homes, luxury homes, okay, you have to keep your goal in mind as you get to these brokerages and as you talk to them. And there's nothing wrong. People say, oh, well, everybody wants high end homes. Not necessarily. These are challenges in both. So if you're selling low end condos, okay, the commission is not as big, but very often they can be easier to sell. Like there's advantages to go into a condo complex because you get your name in a complex and you can just bang them out, your name's there, and you sell them regularly. High end homes, there's just not as many of because they're larger square footage, they can a lot area, but that one sale is a bigger commission for you, correct?
Right. Whereas you could probably do more volume with lower price homes.
Right. So it's not as simple as, oh, everybody wants high end homes. It's more expensive. It depends on your goals, your focus, where your network is. And that's one of the things I asked you about. What I'd like you to think about is that social network of which you'll develop more through your business. Where do they live? What kind of homes are they living in? Because that's probably going to be your business in the beginning. Not saying you can't expand outside of that, but that's your easiest business. For me, I always thought it was best to start my business with the person in the mirror because that's the person you can relate to, talk to, you know that demographic very well, and it's easy for you to discuss those things. So it's kind of where's your network? And you find a lot of real estate people who are successful, they basically sell to people who are a lot like them because it's just something you could talk intelligently about. All
Yeah,
right.
I can see that.
Now, with that being said, my first sales that I did when I first started real estate, the people could not be more different than me. And I'll tell it's a funny story later. Different culture, different demographic. But that just fell into my lap as I was trying, working hard, doing certain things. So it's not necessarily these goals, even your high end homes, you're stuck to it. So, for example, you want to do high end homes, you said, correct?
Yeah.
But
That's
if
like
somebody,
the ultimate goal.
right, but if somebody says, hey, Chris, I want to buy a condo, are you going to say no?
No.
And if you do a great job with that condo, they say, man, she was awesome. You got to get a condo with her too. Are you going to say no?
No, of course not.
Right. So you don't know where things are going to take you, but still maintain your goal for the high end homes, for your education, your focus, your network, but you don't know where opportunities are going to take you. Okay. So let's look at this brokerage. Okay. Okay. First off, no monthly fees. Okay. Um, that's fine. I think that's a great thing. I mean, not having to pay things are great because there's a lot of fees that are going to come up. But I'd really look into detail what that means because there's other fees involved that you may have to pay for, like board of realtors and things of that nature. And what are you sacrificing with that no monthly fee?
The commission.
Exactly. That commission split. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So they provide you with marketing. Okay. What did you say the marketing was? The website, right? And the business cards, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, I don't know this office, so you know better than I do, but I would tell you this. With a website in this modern era, your website is huge for you. Even if you're not huge internet savvy, you want it to look good. It's your business card, essentially. I know they're going to give you business cards. I mean, it's more of your online business cards. Think about your life and your
Mhm.
social network and what you do in your everyday life. Do you see yourself emailing somebody a link to your website more or physically handing a business card? And I don't know the answer to that. You know your life, you know how you communicate with friends, family, colleagues. Like, what do you see happening more often for you?
I think it's a good mix, but I think when I meet someone or I'm looking to do some kind of business, I always research them online.
Exactly.
And if a company has a terrible website, it's going to make me think, maybe they're not so legitimate.
Exactly. A lot of agents in this day and age, they get a lot of business through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email marketing, which is something that I thrive on and I always thrived on. So for me, that website is huge because you're not handing them a business card through the computer. So when companies say they provide you with a website, what I'd like you to look at is everybody's website. Because very often it'll just be a generic page within the framework of their website. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's call it Joe's Brokerage. Okay, I'm interviewing for my brokerage, Joe's Brokerage. What you might get is joesbrokerage.com/Chris. And then
Mhm.
it's really Joe's Brokerage website with a page that has your picture on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if they're providing you with that website, please just for me look to see what that website is. Um, and I said it could be great. I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying take a look at what it is. Because also keep in mind to have your own really nice looking website, it is not that expensive. You could get one done for $100 easily. A really nice one, a WordPress site. You could get somebody off Craigslist to build it for you. It'll look clean, professional, and also it'll be unique to you. Now, obviously, that's a website that doesn't have bells and whistles, but as you said, you just want a nice image, correct?
Sorry?
You just want a nice image for that website. You want it to look good, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Business cards are business cards. They're not that expensive. These things where they say we're providing you with marketing materials, these two things cost them almost nothing. It won't cost you that much. So don't be swayed by it that much. I mean, business cards are fairly cheap. You don't want to make your decision based upon business cards. Okay. Do not have to pay for printer and postage machine. Once again, how much are you printing? You know, the grand scheme of it's not going to cost you that much, but it's a good thing when you're starting out. It's a nice, I call it a nice luxury, like having breakfast on Friday mornings. It's nice, but I wouldn't base my decision upon it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
The thing
Yeah.
that I love that they have. So the other ones I'm like, whatever, is this continuing education courses. That's brilliant. Okay. But once again, really ask them, what are you teaching me? How often are they? Who's teaching them? Things of that nature. Um, and once again, as you can see, I'm not giving the answers. I'm giving you things to think about based upon the information you got. Now, the other thing about continuing education courses, you could get a lot of this stuff from outside areas. Even there's YouTube videos, board of realtors, other agents. You could get mentors. Okay. So it's not the end all, but it is great that they have that. I do love that they have that for you because you always want to learn. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah, and I guess I should add that with B, they do have that in that I know people that work in that office that want to mentor me and teach
Excellent.
me stuff. So
Keep in mind, nothing's for free. they're gonna. I mean, if you're worried about that commission split, they're gonna want a piece of it. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Now, the loan officer, ugh, that could be good or bad. Okay, because some brokerages will push you towards their in-house loan officer, and it's not necessarily a RESPA violation or things like that. I'm not saying that, but sometimes you want to be able to get the best loan officer that does the best work for you, and there's a ton out there. By them having the in-house one, okay, what is the real benefit of that for you? I mean, what do you think? Like when they said in-house loan officer, were you like sweet, or were you like whatever? How did you feel when you heard that?
Um, yeah, I didn't really care about it that much, but that's what they use to market themselves
Okay, why did you not care about it that much?
because there's all kinds of loan officers, and I think my clients are going to go where they want to go. I mean, maybe it's a convenience for them to
So
have it right where I would be, but
I will tell you this, and this will give you some confidence. Just from talking to you, you're much more on it than a lot of people brand new. Certainly more on it than when I was brand new. I mean, you seem to be focused, goals, you kind of have the gist of how this is all going to work, what you're going to look for. And by you saying that, it really kind of gives me a lot of confidence in that you're going to be successful and that you're saying, you know what, I'm not tied to anybody in my office. I'm tied to what's best for my client, is kind of what you just said.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And that loan officer in the office may be great. You don't want to take away from him. That loan officer is motivated by the fact that that office feeds him a lot of business. So he wants to do good by you because he gets a lot of business from the office. Now, with that being said, though, much like real estate agents for clients, loan officers are constantly vying for your business. So you have a whole world of loan officers to choose from, and it's not easy, but you're going to choose them. I know you say your client's going to choose, but really your client's going to ask you what you think is best, and you're going to help guide them. You're not going to make that decision for them, but chances are you're going to have a few at your disposal that you're going to introduce to your client and let the client choose from them. So that in-house loan officer could go either way. He said the one I really like is that continuing education course. Okay. So do you want to look at
Okay.
brokerage B? You there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they got that high monthly fee. Do-do-do-do. What are you getting for that high monthly fee?
Getting a better commission split.
Okay. So a higher commission split. What else?
Um, I guess a brand name, even though A is also a pretty big name.
Okay. So that's a moot point. They both have names. And at the end of the day, remember, the only name that matters is yours.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an independent contractor. So, but you said they both have good names. So moot point there. Okay. What else?
Desk space.
Oh, they give you a desk,
Yeah.
and the other one does not give you a desk.
The other one said that was negotiable.
Okay. So they might have a desk. Is a desk important to you?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a big deal. For me, it was important. I needed to get out of my house. Other people, the reverse. They don't want to be in an office. They want to be isolated because at home they work hard, and so desk space was not a big deal to them. But other people, the desk space is huge. Okay, and it sounds like you want that desk space, so that's big for you. Okay, then if you got a desk space, you got to figure out what is that desk space, what does it look like, all those things. Okay, provide you with website and business cards. We went over that with brokerage A, and a busy office. What does that mean?
Lots of business.
Why?
Um, lots of leads.
From other agents?
Lots of leads coming into that office, and just knowing that this is a very busy office.
Does it also mean a lot of people vying for those leads coming into that office?
Oh, yeah. I don't mean that though. Actually, another question I ask these brokerages is how many agents do they have working for them?
Oh, okay.
And A has way more agents working for them than B.
Does that bother you, or do you like that?
I think I might want to work with less agents so there's less competition within the office
Okay,
and more
so
opportunity to get those phone calls and leads.
here's what I will tell you about that. Okay. Don't worry about the competition because there's always going to be competition. Even if it's not within your office, it'll be with the office next door. At the end of the day, you're competing for clients in your town, not really within the office. Okay. One, you want to know if you get along with those people, which you'll never know until you actually get to know them and work there. So that's kind of a moot point. Agreed.
Yes.
What you want to know is, do you have a relationship with those agents where you could sit an open house for them? So if I have two listings, I can only be in one place at one time. I may say, hey, Chris, you're a new agent. You're looking for business, right? You say, yeah, fine. Could you sit my open house? And any leads that come in, you could have. That's where that comes in handy.
Okay.
So it's really the relationship with them, the policies of can you do open house, the mentors, things of that nature. But the most tangible thing for me when I started of having an office full of agents is the opportunity to sit in open house. Now, with that being said, that could happen in a three-person office. If those two people are killing it and they're making a ton of money and doing a tons of listings, then you're golden. You're the only one there. So you're going to do all their open houses for them. So it really could go either way. In these big offices, sometimes they have little cliques within the big office. So the busy office thing,
Hmm.
it really depends on your relationship with the people there, and more specifically, can you sit open houses for them? That's kind of one thing you want to ask them about. And another
Okay.
question is, when a lead comes into an office, how's it distributed? So somebody calls in to, Joe's brokerage, says, hey, I want to buy a house. I don't have an agent. Can you give it to me? Excuse me. Can you give me an agent? What happens to that lead?
It would go up to the up agents.
Okay. So then you want to ask, well, first of all, can you explain to people listening what that is? Because it sounds like you know what that is.
Agents have different time slots, like they're scheduled to work, and whatever calls or leads come in would be transferred to that agent
Right. And there's
who's
emails
there.
and there's the calls coming in. So you want to ask, how is that distributed? Because a lot of agents would fight for that. I knew agents who had nothing to do with it. Felt it was a waste of time. I lived off it. Whenever there was time, I was there, answering calls or doing it. There was never an opportunity I went by. So you want to find out, how is that going to be allocated? Is it an hourly thing? Is it a priority thing? Do the most experienced agents get it because they want to give those leads to people who have a proven track record of knowing what they're doing? Or are those leads given to new agents because they want to give the new agents an opportunity to get going and kind of build their business?
Right.
So I don't sound. Did you ask them that one?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. And what did they tell you about how that's distributed, the updesk?
That everybody has a pretty equal shot, and you kind of volunteer what days and hours you would like to do it.
But what if the days are taken up? Like, what if there's no more days and hours available?
I didn't ask that.
Right. So ask that one because it all sounds good. Like, what's available? Well, I don't want to do the up desk at 11 o'clock at night on Saturday night. It's, um,
Yeah.
I mean, so you got to ask them that, how it's distributed. Basically, are the new agents treated as a valuable resource that'll grow business? Or are they treated as somebody who's, hey, we're throwing to the wolves. You got to earn your keep and you don't get respect until you earn respect. It's like,
Mhm.
and for a brokerage, there's value in both models of me taking in Chris and saying, hey, I'm going to foster you and you're going to be my agent and you're going to be great. I'm going to make you awesome. Or saying, she hasn't proved anything. I'm not going to invest time into her until she's proved her worth. So there's different things there to think about. So What do you think so far? Have we gone over some basic things that are pretty good for you?
Yeah, you definitely helped me kind of like prioritize and put things in perspective.
Okay. So you're going to meet with two more brokerages, you said. So let's kind of think about what we went over. And the biggest thing is you got to focus on your goals a little bit more when you talk to them, just for your own life. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned yet, I really want to mention, do not care about the commission split right now.
Really?
Yes, don't care about what's if you sell zero homes, what's 100% commission of zero?
0.
You get my point? So it you gotta have somebody who could help you grow your business. Give up the commission. Share it with if a mentor is truly gonna help you and truly teach you, your first three deals, you have to think of as an educational process. You don't want this to be a one-off thing, do you?
Right.
So after you sell three homes, you really know what you're doing. And as you not just prove to them, but prove to yourself that you could really do this, then you could demand whatever commission you want.
Yeah, that is something to think about
I mean,
because I've been thinking of that as like number one, most important.
no, it's the least important. Because most important right now is how are you going to get business? How are you going to learn how to do the business? How are they going to help you focus your goals like I'm talking to you? Because I'm talking from an outsider's perspective. That brokerage is going to be with you every day. So you want somebody who's going to help you focus your goals. Say, hey, Chris, are you motivated? Let me motivate you to go talk to that person. Let me check in with you. What are you doing? Is that website really working for you? If not, can we find you a better one? Do you not know how to do a contract? I'm here for you to help you do that contract. All these things is what you need in the beginning, not a high commission split. Because let's be honest, if I help you with your first deal and I help you every step of the way and you leave that deal feeling like a knowledgeable, powerful agent, you won't mind sharing a massive part of the commission with me.
Right.
Now, after 2, 3, 4, 5 deals, you're going to start minding more. But in the early stages, you got to want to give up that commission for the exchange of good education and mentorship and guidance.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to be like kind of just thrown to the wolves on my own. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about was being on a team and like teaming up with another agent and how do teams work, what kind of different teams,
That's a whole nother
things like
conversation
that.
where we definitely want to do. But let's leave this one on this. Let's leave going after the brokerages a little bit, and don't worry about the commission. Look at the things we focused on, and the monthly fees. What are you getting for it? That market material. That's why I said I love that education. I got really excited about that. If they don't provide
Hmm.
education, maybe they could show you where. Okay. And at the end of the day, all these resources are available all over the internet or at your local board of realtors or different places to help your business grow. So all this stuff you could find somewhere, but you really want a brokerage you feel comfortable, you feel welcome, and they'll help you foster a good business. Not the commission split. The commission split's not the biggest deal in the beginning.
Okay.
All right. I know you didn't like hearing that. You're like, what do you want? I want my money. I get it. You're very ambitious, strong-willed. You're like, give me my money. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But if you're thinking long term,
Yeah,
you've got to get a foundation so you know what you're doing.
definitely that experience is worth a lot more than the commission.
Well, let me ask you this. You finally get your client because you're all ambitious for that $1 billion home you want to sell. And then you screw it up because you don't know what you're doing. I mean, how does that
Yeah,
nightmare sound? If you get that billion
I
dollar
know.
home, you're going to be like, I want them to think I'm the greatest. Hey, Bill, Jane, Kelly, whoever it is, can you help me to make sure this goes smoothly? If you say, I'll share my commission, they'll be like, sure, no problem. I'll help you. You're going to look great. And you say, great, awesome. I'll share my commission because you're going to make sure I come out looking like a rock star when this is all said and done.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah. So, all right. So let's end it there for right now. This is Joe from Prep Agent. Chris, can we follow up and do another conversation as you progress through this?
Yeah, definitely. I'll have some more information.
All right, good. So good luck. You're going to do awesome. And this is Joe with Prep Agent, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Okay, bye.